Andrew, that's not your high school graduation picture behind you, is it?
It is.
I'm kidding. I love Highland.
Oh, Michelle, you're muted right now.
Excuse me.
All right, okay. Having all sorts of technical difficulties tonight. Okay, so the minutes. Um, does anyone have any questions, additions, changes? No? Okay, then. Let's move on to our agenda items. First one is Art Walk. So Katie and I just both reviewed the application, which will be going onto our website soon. Jolyn, did you see, I just sent you the logos and I don't know why, but it removed them from the folder and sent them all individual.
Oh, no problem. That sounds great. Thank you.
But I did send you the Art Walk logos so you could do something on the webpage. And I made sure that we have the location secured. I messaged Dawn and I also CC'd you on that, Jolyn, so that you would have Dawn's email
Okay.
and know what was going on with that.
Who is Dawn?
Dawn is she's one of the managers at Capitol Brewery. And I sent her an email making sure we had the location for that day. And
Well, I wasn't aware that we had to do that every year.
yeah, I have to tell her what day we're having it
Okay.
so that she can reserve the day and put it on the calendar. And then they also will put it on the calendar when we have the information ready. They'll put the art walk on their calendar as well. So we're in the early stages.
May I
And
ask when you usually do the street closure application?
that usually happens, I believe, in April or March maybe. And we also go to license and ordinancing and make sure that they approve that. I think was that in March, Scott? Was that before you were here?
It sounds right.
I think it was the April meeting because I started like April 4th, and I think it was within my first week or so. But
I think it would be good to
timeline
do it on March, though, just to have it out of the way.
Yeah, I feel that, to have it at least a month of buffer in
Yeah,
case we need another L&O meeting.
yeah.
You know the general details. We could submit it with
We
like 26
also,
applications in December.
Oh, did you hear that, Michelle?
what?
Since we know the date,
We
could
can submit it anytime.
You're ready. We could. Do I submit it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Well, Abby was the one who was submitting it before.
Yeah.
So it'll be me now. So
Yeah, we also, Jolynn, we get a grant. We apply for a grant and have gotten it for the last few years from the CDA. And I'm not sure what the deadline on that is, but I believe.
on Monday, they're going to be approving a new process for that, and I believe the deadline on that application right now is targeted for January 31st.
Okay.
So that's coming up earlier. They're transitioning to a system where getting all the applications for the year in at the same time so they can evaluate things against each other versus just first come, first served for
Okay. Yeah, so we'll need to make sure that we have that application ready to go as well. And I don't know the requirements for that one because I wasn't writing that grant. I was writing a couple of others that we have, um, we kind of aged out of them like, we could only get them for a certain number of years and we've done that. And so, tourism is one of them. I don't know how many years we have to go before we can apply for a grant with them. But Abby was doing the grant writing for the CDA grant. And I'm trying to think if there was another. I'll have to think about that. So that's kind of where we're at, I guess, is we are going to be scheduling another meeting. And I would love to have Inez and Andrew, I'd love to have you both there if you can make it. Because right now it's really just me and Katie and Jolynn and Scott that have been attending. So we um we don't have a ton of stuff to do right now, but there are some details of things that need to be worked out. At our first meeting, we did agree to, I think we talked about this at the last meeting as well. We agreed to increase the vendor fee to $200. Hi, Sebastian.
Hi everyone, sorry I'm a little late.
We also eliminated the silent auction.
Yep, we eliminated the silent auction because we felt like we weren't getting enough benefit for the amount of work it took. So that's kind of where we're at so far. Is there a specific day of the week that works best for you guys? We've been meeting at lunchtime. Is that a bad time for you?
Doesn't have to be at lunchtime.
Right, that's just when we have been meeting the past couple years, but we can change that and make it any time of day.
I mean, it's fine with me either way. The only standing meeting I have is our staff meeting, which is Tuesday mornings.
Okay.
And it's probably a little tougher for Andrew at lunchtime.
Hmm.
And Inez, do you have classes?
Yeah, no, I can do lunchtimes only if it's on Thursday, Fridays, or Saturday, Sunday, because I have classes those days.
Okay. As long as it's not Thursday, Friday? Or
I
long
can
as-
do them on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Okay,
Okay.
Thursday through Sunday is good for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And Andrew, what about you?
Early in the morning is usually better. Lunch is it's too chaotic to commit to sometimes. But if we favor earlier in the week, I'm more likely to be able to do lunchtime frame.
So what about you and can you do early morning?
How early in the morning? I
Yeah,
really
I'm
don't know.
wondering that myself.
I'm mostly taking morning classes, so I'm afraid that might be a little difficult. I can do Fridays. Fridays I don't have any classes, so maybe
Okay.
it's early on in the week.
Could you do Friday morning, Andrew? And how early
Yeah.
do you want to go?
If we start before 9 or 9:30 is ideal for me. The earlier the better.
Could we do 8:30?
That works for me.
I can't. I have clients from 7:30 until noon on Fridays.
What about Friday afternoon, after lunchtime? Is that a slower time for you, Andrew?
No, I'll never be able to make a Friday work.
At all.
It's rarely.
All right, why don't we do, Michelle, why don't we do a couple doodle polls and see if we can
Yeah.
narrow it down?
It sounds like Thursday lunch works for everybody except for me, and I'm like at best 50-50 on those. So if you want to schedule those, and I'll make as many as I can.
Okay.
Does that work for you, Inez and
Yes,
Katie,
that works for me. Thank you.
Jolynn, Scott,
Yeah.
anybody else who might have to come?
Yeah.
So Thursday, 12:30 or 12?
12:30 is best for me, if that's okay with you
Uh-huh.
guys.
That works for me. So then maybe we should get the next one on the books. I'm gonna be gone from the 8th to the 15th. I'm going to Puerto Rico.
Well, let's do after that then.
Okay, yeah, because we don't have a ton to discuss right now. We could do the 19th. I mean, sorry, 20th.
20th, yeah.
Or I could do the 30th if you want to do it before I leave.
No,
Okay, so the 20th of November at 12:30. Putting it in right now. Um,
Should we plan that as a monthly, third Thursday?
yeah, for now, and then when we get closer, we'll start meeting every 2 weeks. And then it'll be like once a week for the last few weeks. I think is how it's gone in the past, because it'll get a little chaotic toward the end.
cool.
Okay, so 12:30. Why is this not working? Okay. 12:30 on the 20th. I will regale you with my stories of my trip. Okay, so next art walk meeting we've got set, and so I think, does anybody else have anything to say or questions?
Just quickly, how soon do we think we'll have the application on the website? Just because I'm already pushing artists to go look for it.
Well, you know, once we're pretty satisfied with the form itself, we could begin sharing it, individually just by the link, because
Oh.
people can't access it that way.
Cool.
So that could go live pretty soon if we wanted to set a date that we want to start doing that.
I'll leave it up to Michelle, but
Well, I think Katie and I both responded about the application and said it looked good, so I think it can go anytime.
Yeah.
And then we usually do a save the date card that we start distributing at toward the end of the year, and it has the link on it. It has a QR code on it. So we put that out all over the place. We print like 1,000 or 1,500 of them, and we just spread them out anywhere where that will let us put postcards out. So that's been a really effective way to get new artists too. So we can talk about that when that gets closer, but that'll be one of our next things too, to get artists moving.
Okay, so how about if I create kind of a flyer you can share with people that has like the QR code to the application, just to get started digitally, that you can then invite people to start
I
submitting?
love that.
Well,
The website's still a bit of a question.
yes, but we need to still do a save the date, which is a postcard size, because it fits in racks.
Yeah,
So
right. Immediate, just to start next week already, you can start sharing.
yeah, and I think that, so we talked about also the way that we share it with the folks that have previously come to the art walk. And so once we get the application up on the website, then an email should go out to the previous artists, probably from the last 2 years, because we had a few actually that couldn't come last year and that had been coming previously. Ross is one of them. So we should talk about that, not during this meeting though. So I'll email you, Jolynn, so that we can discuss that.
And if you're willing, just send that digital flyer to, I would hope that it'd be okay to send to the whole art committee so that if anyone knows artists that we want to push into it, we can say, hey, you should think about this.
Yeah, and we also need to think about what we're putting on our flyers, our any of our communications, that it is all the same and that it is all consistent and that is all easily recognizable. So when someone sees it, And we have used the same design every year with a single image of art to kind of create and perpetuate that branding. So, but we can talk about that at a later time. I don't think we need to talk about that right now during the Arts Committee meeting.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, so any other questions or anything else that anybody wants to say about Art Walk? All right, then let's go ahead and move to 0.5% for art. Do we have an update on that? Or are we kind of
Well,
still?
I have no big updates, no new developments. I did have a question I wanted to ask, and just to see if anybody on the committee had any knowledge about it. Is there anything that precludes us from doing outside fundraising for a project we're doing percent for art for? Is there any reason we couldn't, like, say we only get 200,000 or something like that for our budget? Is there any reason we can't since we have so much time, organize fundraisers periodically or try to get out in the community and find people who might want to fund our public art program and projects for the percent for art specifically?
That is something I think that we would have to run past the city's attorney and that the city manager.
Oh.
I think that those, because in the past they've been reluctant to let us fundraise in the community because it is part of the city, but they allow us to have sponsors for Art Walk to help defray the cost of that. So, Scott, could you ask Abby? I know that she's already asked them about this before. So could you guys talk to Abby and see what the guidelines would be on that? And maybe we'll have to go back to them again, and perhaps the finance director was involved in that conversation too. I can't remember, but I know there are some stipulations. But they do allow us to raise money for Art Walk. So I don't know how they would feel about like a big art project installation.
Yeah, we'll check into that. I know in the past, there has been some fundraising for different art projects. Uh, so I know there's a way to do it, so we can figure out what the scope of what's allowed and not allowed for that is and report back. And additionally, I know that Jolene has been looking at some different grant ideas for ways that could help supplement funding as well. A little difficult with the federal shutdown to have any certainty about any of that for some of those larger ones, but yeah, I think that's an excellent idea to try to supplement with other funding, and we'll report back with some of the scope of what that could look like.
Cool, thank you.
Cool
I saw in the minutes
question.
from last time. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean to
Oh,
cut
just
you off.
cool idea.
Sure. Yeah. I thank you. Yeah, I think it just makes sense as a way to hopefully get a more major work out of our program. And we are gonna, I know we talked about it last time and I just saw it in the minutes, but were you able to get any kind of estimate on what the what that percent amount might be if we waited 2 years or 1 year, any kind of
Yeah, so we
average
followed up on
prediction?
that, and 30,000 would be the number that we suggest as an average per year going
Okay.
forward. Bankable number that we can use for our planning.
Cool.
Sebastian, now that I think about it, before I came onto the committee, they did raise money for an art installation in the roundabout on Parmenter Street, which never came to fruition because the DOT would not give us permission to put a piece of artwork in the roundabout with the concern that it might be distracting. And I think you came on when we were still talking about that money. and how we were going to spend it, because we gave the people who had donated the option of of just donating it to the committee, or for us to decide how to spend it, or giving it back to them. And so most of them just wanted to give us the money anyway. And so that fund is involved too, Scott. I don't know if we still have money in that fund. So but we did go and solicit money from businesses for that project. And I don't know also how the city will feel about us asking businesses for money with the 0.5% for art in place now. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of questions, I think.
For sure. I just wanted to like pose the question and see, what you guys thought about it, or if there's any history of trying it before, and like, why we might or might not want to do it.
Yeah, and I think that I'm sure there's probably a way, since we did raise the money before for that other installation. So yeah, we should definitely look into that.
Cool, thank you.
Do you have anything else for 0.5%?
No, that's all I got for you.
Okay, anybody else have any questions or comments for Sebastian? All right. Well,
All right, or shall I just jump in real quick? I just want to mention that after last meeting, we had generally decided that if Parks is open to it, the Pheasant Branch Trailhead location would be a great spot. And just want to report out that Jolene has been doing a wonderful job coordinating with the Parks Director on that. So we're getting involved early on the conversation related to that. They're very excited for that collaboration. And so we'll we'll update you all every month when there's more news about that. But right now it's just kind of figuring out timelines and details of when different pieces happen.
that's great news. Good job.
Yeah,
That is
amazing.
great news. And you guys, I'm on the Parks Commission, so I can help keep everybody focused on the parks and
All right, awesome. Okay, anything else for 0.5%? Okay. Youth Center, I still have April open. Nobody wants April. So if you know anybody who wants to do an art project at the youth center, I can tell you what I have already booked for this year. Julia did the flip books, and then she did mini comic books. I am doing bracelets next month, November. Meg is doing the drawing into a graphic that she's done the last couple years, and then kids can either get stickers printed, or they can print it on a bag or a bandana or whatever they choose. And then in January and February, we have Christine Laufenberg coming back and doing a 2-part pottery class. In March, we have a collage class. April, as I said, we have nothing yet. And then May and June, a co-worker of Erin Summers, who is a painter, is going to come in, and they're going to do like a mural that's made up of small canvases. Each kid will have a canvas, and then they'll make it'll be one art piece. And Erin will be assisting him with those projects. So that's what we have. If you have an idea, somebody who's an artist who might want to take that on, it is approximately an hour and a half with setup and tear down. So the class lasts an hour. They get paid $150 plus supplies. And it has to be completed within that hour, since we only have the 1 month left. So that's what I have on that. Anybody questions or ideas for an artist or anything?
Need disco.
All right, shall we move on to pop-up art?
Sure. Okay, so pop-up art. We had hunting for pumpkins just last Friday, and it was really fun. The weather was gorgeous. Parks and Rec really knows how to put on an event. It was so fun. There were lots of families there. The weather was so nice. A lot of people were outside. I was a little nervous they wouldn't come inside to the park shelter, but they totally did to do the art craft. We had about 200 kids do the art activity. We had these orange paper plates. We had black paper, and they could cut eyes, nose, mouth to make their own like jack-o'-lantern mask kind of thing. And it was really fun to see the creativity. You know, some of them kind of tried to follow what we did and, you know, like our example, but other people just did their own shapes, and it was just fun to see. And just a lot of really good, we had help from the high schoolers. They have both the Key Club as well as DECA. I'm not even sure I know what DECA stands for, but they're all very volunteer-oriented clubs.
Business
Is it young
organization.
entrepreneurs or
Yeah,
something?
something like
Yeah,
So both of those clubs always they show up and they just the attitude is great and they're really helpful with the young kids. So it's just fun to have that. And then we had our volunteer who recently, you know, came on, got the background check and came on as a volunteer, came and helped, and it was great. And that same volunteer will be back for the December event, the candy cane hunt. So as far as volunteers go for these two events, we are pretty well set because we have the high schoolers in addition to us. If anybody wants to help, you are always welcome. So I'm not saying we can't use more people, but I'm just saying we are good. So that makes me happy. But we were unable to do the one that we had talked about, maybe adding that extra one at Stonehorse Green, just because my schedule was busy, and I know Beth and I both talked about it. We're both kind of busy that night, and so we're hoping to maybe plan ahead a little more next year and try to get that coordinated with, you know, to
Which
see
one
what
was that?
how
Spooky Stroll.
the spooky stroll. We would
Oh,
like to get involved with it. It's for me hard on a Thursday night. That's all.
yeah.
My Friday nights were better, so anyway. So
Yeah,
hopefully
this year it was just a little too short of notice.
so we'll look at that. And then we'll start planning. I don't know when you guys decided we wanted to do the talk about budget. I know we said before December, like as far as me renewing my pop-up art budget.
Yeah, I
yeah,
believe,
can you put that on the agenda next week or next time, Scott?
Yeah. sure.
To discuss budget?
That's
We're done for next year, right?
Hmm?
We're done requesting for next year, right?
We need to appropriate money for the pop-up art. I guess if you have a, you know, I suppose there's no reason we can't
just approve it now.
approve it tonight if you know how much you are gonna need for the coming year.
Yeah, I think the $750 number is working well. I know how to work within that budget. So I think if we continue this year with that budget, I can make that work. Based on the number of activities we have, the number of people, if we just keep on trend, should be.
I think we should also consider that we might have to amend that because I bought foam core last week and it was $78 a case. And then I went to order it again this week and it was $108 a case. And so we need to be mindful that we're going to have tariffs that are going to affect some of our things, especially with the 100% tariff to China will affect our art supplies probably directly. So let's just be mindful that we may have to amend your budget in the future if the cost of everything continues to increase.
That sounds good. We can use a lot of reusable materials. I've got tons of toilet paper cores saved. I've got lots of, you know, like things that I know we can reuse in projects. So we do have a good base. So I feel comfortable this year making it work.
Also, please, pop-up crew, let us know if there's things that we could be saving on our own and helping you gather.
Okay.
Yeah, egg cartons, toilet
Right.
paper rolls.
Yeah, stuff
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got lots of rubber bands. They stack up in my house. If you ever need a bunch of rubber bands for something.
I almost went to buy rubber bands, Michelle, because I don't have any in my house. So, this is where we can come
Let
together.
me know.
Beth, did you have anything you wanted to add for supplies or?
No, I was just gonna say that we can probably focus next year on being a little more recycling based and using what we've got. So when we plan our next year projects, we'll probably come up with maybe like some donation shopping lists where it's like, everybody save us your paper towels and stuff.
Yeah. And we
So
can
we'll
ask
bring that to you
council.
guys
Yeah,
when we
we can ask the
plan.
council to help too.
Okay. Sounds good. So we'll just, Elizabeth and I, when we plan our next year's projects, we'll keep that in mind.
Cool.
And then let us know if you guys think of any events that would be an idea for us to consider. So just maybe at the next meeting, if something comes up in the month and you think of it, let me know or let Beth know.
I think Stars Hollow would be another fun day to do.
You were just talking.
We have the cookie maker.
Stars.
I do a cookie decorating.
Mhm.
So it's right
Workshop.
before Halloween?
Kids, that will be
Early.
early October or mid-October.
Okay. So
Kind
for
of, we're
next.
gonna wait till we get the football schedule and decide to avoid homecoming.
Okay. Sounds good. I put that on. Great.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's all we've got tonight. It's a light load.
Woohoo.
Don't get used to it because everything will come at once. We'll have all sorts of things going on suddenly. All right. Well, thanks everyone. And I will see you, some of you at the Art Walk meeting, and otherwise I will see you in November.
Thanks,
Sounds good.
everyone.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.